you saw the recent visit to Germany as well, where, Rahul Gandhi spoke and also looked down upon the manufacturing sector in India. And Vijay Gruver, often perception becomes reality in politics. So do you think that, taking all these stories to the United States, garnering support, do you think this is really necessary? Why is Rahul Gandhi time and again going on foreign soil and peddling a narrative that's not in the nation's interest?
Well, see, first of all, I'm glad over here that Umar Khalid's case is now being once again brought to the limelight by Pradeep Bhandari and the other BJP spokespersons, because this is something that the social media has been full of, that trying to get some kind of attention to Umar Khalid. Nothing explains the fact, Xavier Rodriguez was time and again saying that they are a part of the Islamic radical group, and so much and so more and all that kind of thing. He was passing a judgment even before the Supreme Court would actually pass a judgment. But this is not what justice is all about. For 5 years, we've not had the charge sheet framed because none of the judges have actually gone through the 1700-page charge sheet. And that is something which raises questions as to why such a long charge sheet was needed for a speech given in Amaravati for some WhatsApp groups. If it was a watertight shut case, there should have been a trial which should have finished within a year or two or maybe 3 years, and the case should have been closed. The fact that it has been lingering on for such a long time because it is political fodder. And that is something we see that time and again when elections are around the corner, we see this Islamic radical aspect being thing. If Umar Khalid is guilty, so was Kapil Mishra. And where are we seeing the two people? One is a minister in the government now, and all these cases have been withdrawn. Umar Khalid, for whatever reasons, I am not going into the merit of the case, but the fact is that anybody for that matter needs a fair trial, and justice delayed is justice denied. That is the basic ethos of...
Mr. Grover, I'm really happy that you brought up the fact that justice delayed is justice denied, because, the former CJI, Chandrachud, had clearly mentioned in a very private interview that the delay was because of Umar Khalid's counsel itself, because he had sought more than 7 adjournments. Correct. So don't you think that Umar Khalid, probably Mamdani should write a letter to Umar Khalid saying get a better counsel?
Well, maybe through your show, Mamdani will get the message and, will write a letter there as well. But this is not something that, we are trying to find fault with. The fact is, the police had, and I'm glad that there's a DCP of the Delhi police who's over here. He will be able to shed more light as to what the delays were, what the hurdles were, and why this has not happened. But to a logical thing, 5 years without a trial, in jail for, charges which are only built on a speech in Amravati, not even in Delhi. He was not physically present in Delhi to have things, and being called a mastermind. We've seen several such cases where young Muslim youth have been picked up, put on trial for years together, and after that the cases have shut. And if you make a list of it, the list would be very, very long. Why is it that this persecution, and if the US lawmakers group had actually flagged it due to Rahul Gandhi's visit, I'm not even discussing the Rahul Gandhi's visit issue over here, that happened in September 2024. Today we are discussing in 2026, 1.25 years later. What triggered the BJP to raise this issue again? Because
the BJP believes it was a long laid out process. First it starts with Rahul Gandhi's visit, then the lobby discusses, and then suddenly Mamdani writes a letter.
The letter to the Indian envoy was sent in January 2025. And we are referring to a letter after 1 year and saying that, that letter was because Rahul Gandhi's visit in September 2024. So there is no trigger. Just because Mamdani has written a letter to a person does not mean that, you have to implicate Rahul Gandhi.
Why would a mayor of New York write a letter
about a riot accused who was part of, the larger conspiracy as the Delhi police claims in Northeast Delhi?